vacating the seat, and he's running for controller. So the seat is vacant right now.
And you know, when I ran for office, I put my opponent's name all over my literature. And people would ask me, why you put your opponent's name? Because first of all, I want you to know who I'm running against. Most people live in district votes. They don't know who the people represent.
No, they
them.
don't.
So I make sure you know who he is.
Yes, sir.
So David Miller is vacating that office, and you trying to pick it up.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to pick this office up. You know, it's definitely my first seat, I've ever ran for, and never ran in politics before, but I've sat back and I've watched a lot of different debates and different conversations, and I've sat back and I've watched, systems of government that did not work for us, but it most definitely worked against us.
Well, it still ain't working for us. Nothing ain't changed.
It's not working for us, no, sir.
It ain't changed one bit. Believe me, we're gonna have to we need some young, motivated leadership to come up to replace this old guard leadership.
Oh yeah, you got to change it. Just like a car, you got to change the oil.
Got to change the oil. In this case, we need to jack it up and just change the whole car. I'm on a vote them all out campaign.
Well, that's why we have to get behind you, sir. You said you wanted to run for mayor. You got my endorsement too.
Yeah, well, I can't be that corrupt.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I tell you what, young man, I definitely want to encourage you, and I'm glad to see that more young men are becoming involved, because we are the new future. And
yes, sir.
If you're ever going to do anything different, you need new and fresh ideas.
Yes, sir.
And so I want to encourage you to run on.
Yes, sir.
So we got the sheriff and the state rep here. I mean, how can you guys get together and work together? We on two different parties. Don't mean nothing in politics.
No. Let me tell you something. That's not what's important. It's the person that's running. Let me tell you something. My mother has voted Democratic for the last 30 years, and this will be her first time voting Republican. And one of the reasons why she's doing it, of course, is because her son is running Republican. But not only that, but she said, something very important to me. She said, son, I want to say something to you. She said, in life, sometimes you put a light bulb in, and when that light bulb goes out, you got two choices. You can either wander around in the dark, or you can change it and bring new light in. And I see you as new light. So I encourage you to run on, young man.
I like that. I got to use that on one of my shows. Make sure we delete that so they won't know he said it.
All right.
So, I mean, we're dealing with politics. Election is coming up in November. What are we doing to educate the public that you guys are out there?
Well, one of the things, Coach, that I'm doing is every time I go out, I go door to door, and I'm going out to different churches and going out to different places. One thing I do, I try to educate my constituents on what is going on out here, like as far as the politics is concerned. Because one thing about tuning in just to the media and just reading the newspaper, you have to know for yourself what's going on in your community, or in your community. If you do not know what's going on in your own community, then that's going to also hurt you as well. Because if there's murders and if there's killings on your block, and you're not proactive in speaking against those killings, then that's not good politics as well. Because we can always look to what our governors or the House of Representatives is not doing it. And I agree, there are some bills that passed through the House that I did not agree with. I love Representative LaShawn Ford, and I love his hard work and his dedication to our people, but I do not agree with bringing the National Guard into our community. And one of the things that educates me and has advanced me to this cause is that I am a criminal justice student. I graduated this year from Westwood College with my bachelor's
around
degree.
all these law enforcement guys,
Yes,
y'all
sir.
making me nervous. Birdo, go put my Uzi up under the car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And indeed, that's what we've been debating in my classes lately. We've been debating and talking about this National Guard issue and saying, and I've been leading the debates and saying we need to really, really step up with this cause of violence. We've had so many killings over the past 5 years, and there's so much, and there's so many elders speaking, on this issue, but it's not the elders getting shot and and we're burying them in the graves. It's the youth. It's people my age. I'm 24 years old, but it's people like my little brother's age. I have a little brother that's 15, And I'm just telling him now, your generation is really messed up. And if leadership from my generation, if we do not stand up, and that's what I'm doing, Coach, and Mr. Sheriff, I'm standing up, and I'm taking a stand against violence in my own community. I could do it by preaching the gospel, which I do. I am an ordained minister. I could do it by just going all these marches and rallies. Power to Reverend Jackson and Father Flager. But I'm going down the road. I'm choosing the road of politics because I know that there's bills, there's legislation, there's things on, there's different social ills on the books that does not speak for our youth, that does not speak for our poor, that does not speak for the uneducated, that does not speak for the unemployed, and the current leadership that we have here in Illinois and in Chicago and even in Cook County. I also disagree with the Cook County not being so involved and so proactive against this youth violence.
Say it again.
We gonna have
spoke up on the youth violence issue. So
we got to take a top of the hour break. Hold that thought. We're going to come right back. Talk to me with the coach, Michael E. Mayden, as we have Darius and the man here, Collins, for sheriff, in our studio. And we're going to come back after this top of the hour break, and we're going to let them give us some final words.
This is Access Radio Chicago, 1470 AM, WCFJ, Chicago Heights.
Hey listeners, in addition to this radio broadcast, every Saturday on WCFJ 1470 AM at 12 noon, you can catch the coach on Blog Talk Radio by logging on to my website at www.memayden.com. Or you can catch the coach on TV. Just log on to my website for my upcoming schedule. Talk to me with the coach, Michael E. Mayden. www.memayden.com. That's www.memayden.com. All right, and welcome back to Talk to Me with the Coach, Mike E. Mayden. We got things just popping and jumping here. We got Matt coming in here, and Brian getting ready to leave us here. Boy, I feel like a stepchild right now. We're going to wrap it up with our guest for this segment as we have Frederick Collins here, a candidate for sheriff, and he's going to give us some contact information for those of you out there in Radio Land that want to know how you can get in touch with him, how you can help support his campaign. And you can even send him some donations if you want to. Of course, I can't say that.
Well, thank you so much. You can visit me on my website, which is www.collins4sheriff.com. Once again, that's www.collins4sheriff.com. And I want to thank you, Coach, for having me on your show. It's so important to have community activists such as yourself and just everyday individuals who really make a change in the community, not talk about it, not yell about it, but actually get out and do the work that it takes to till the soil to bring about a fresh new harvest. And I want to thank you again on behalf of all of those on the South Side as well as all of Cook County, because you really have been a spokesman for a great number of years. You just didn't pop out of nowhere. I've actually watched and seen you do this for a great number of years, and the work that you do with our youth is to be highly commended. Thank you.
Well, we thank you for coming in and being our guest, and we're going to have to get with you and do a TV taping as well down the road.
I would be so honored.
We'll definitely be in touch. Darius, let our audience know how they can get in touch with you out there.
Well, you can get in touch with me in so many ways, but I'm going to leave my email for Radio Land for you. It's Darius for the number 4, Illinois, the number 29 at gmail.com. Darius, number 4, Illinois, number 29 at gmail.com. I also would like to thank you, Coach Mike, for having me on today. You stay on the case for our people and keep speaking these against social injustices in our community, and pray for me and my campaign. Thank you, Radio Land. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Well, we thank both our guests, and with all these 4s floating around, I'm going to play the lottery when I leave here. 444. Talk to me with the coach, Mike E. Mayden. We want to thank both our candidates as We're talking a little politics. A little earlier we had Representative Sean K. Ford on the line, and we're going to come back and talk about this Arizona immigration